So this video is all about tail bandages. So when you use them and why you use them and how to put them on correctly. So you use tail bandages when you're traveling your horse to stop them from rubbing their tail. You also put them on when you pull the tail to make them lie flat and look really nice. And you also put it on if you want to keep the tail out of the way. So for example, if you're clipping them or if you've got a mare that's foaling, you want to get them on to keep them out of the way. So a tail bandage is kind of stretchy, not like your stable bandages that are all fleecy. So make sure you've got one of these when you're doing it. So before you put your tail bandage on, you want to damp the tail down. You don't want to make it too wet, just enough that the hair all lies flat and it makes the tail bandage stick. You don't want to wet the tail bandage because as it dries it will tighten and that can cut off the circulation in your horse's tail. So when you put the bandage on, you want to unroll a little bit of it and you want to put that underneath your horse's tail. Good girl. And just make sure you've got a bit sticking out. That's it. And then, oh, there's a bit missed to that underneath, so that it's nice and flat. You don't want to leave bits of hair sticking out. Put a bit across the top and then roll your tail bandage all the way around underneath and then fold that down to secure it and come over the top higher up again just to make sure. And you want to have kind of a firm pressure, the same kind of pressure you'd have with a stable bandage, and then you come down sort of half at a time, keeping it neat and keeping the tension, and then you want to come sort of down to the bottom of the dock, keeping on going, and then still coming down to the half a bandage at a time, and then get sort of here. When you get to the bottom of the dock, you can change direction and start to come back up again. I haven't got that much bandage left. And then secured with these ties, so you want to go around the back a couple of times. I'll put it on the side here. And then tie it off on the side so that it doesn't push on the back of your trailer or your lorry if you're travelling. And then you tie it in a bow, like that. And then if you really want to secure it and keep it nice and neat, you can fold a bit of bandage down just to keep it out the way, like that. And then before you leave, you want to make sure you just prepare the tail so that it sits nicely and is more comfortable for your horse. So this is just kind of your basic bandage if you are keeping your tail out the way or putting it on after pulling. If you're going to shows, you know what they're like, if they do any droppings in the trailer or the lorry, then they can get their tails dirty. So if you've got another tail bandage, you can put that over the top and that just helps to keep their tails clean. So you just want to keep going. So you start halfway up because you've already bandaged the top and you just keep going all the way down. You don't need to go half and half like you did at the beginning because you want to get to the bottom as quickly as possible and you've got more tail to get through than you did at the top. You don't need to cover the end completely, but then at the bottom change direction and just start to come up so that you use the whole bandage. So keep wrapping it around. And then the same here, you want to just tie it off. You probably can go around a couple more times here just to use the ties up so your bow's not too big. And then you do a bow like that. So when you take your bandage off, you want to get it off as quickly as possible. So what you want to do is undo the bow just so you release a bit of tension at the bottom, and then from the top put your fingers inside the bandage and just pull it all the way off as quickly as possible, and then you can roll it off up later. So the bandage I showed you first is quite a simple one, the one you use every day. But if you were going to a show and maybe you were wearing it in the warm-up or you were showing and you want the tail to stay nice, there's a different bandage you can do on their tail that looks a little bit smarter. So I'm just going to demo that for you now. So rather than going backwards and forwards, you do kind of a fishtail. Girl. So you start off the same way because then your bandage is secured. So you go around the top the same, and then rather than going round, you kind of come backwards and forwards. So you go back up on yourself there, and then you come back over, and you want to just catch the edge of the bandage before so that you make kind of a nice wave pattern. And with this you can make them bigger, smaller. It takes a bit of practice, but it looks a little bit smarter than the other way sometimes, and it's just a good skill to have. And then when you get to the bottom, exactly the same, wrap it round and then just tie it off at the side. And finish it off. Ta-da! Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you've practiced any tail bandages, we'd love to see pictures or any videos of what you've done. And if you've got any suggestions for other videos and things you want us to do, just put them in the comments or send us a DM. You can follow us on Instagram at The Pony Podcast and Facebook The Pony Podcast. And we've got our podcasts out on iTunes and Spotify, so you can go and have a listen to those. But thank you. Bye. What are you doing?